the journey, and the passion. Good afternoon. It is 3 minutes after the hour, 29th day of July, and I'm going to date this because my special guest will come back at some point and talk about how her life has been updated.
Welcome to The View from a Pew, a conversation among Christians who are out to grow their faith by asking the simple questions, the tough questions, and the stuff you really wish your pastor would talk about. Come on now, let's reason together. It's your voice we want to hear. The phone lines are open, so join the conversation. Call 244-0077. That's 244-0077. Now, here's your host, J. Michael McCoy.
All right, welcome. 4 minutes after the hour, 29th day of July in the Lord's year 2015. I'm dating this show because I have a very strong feeling that this young woman will come back at some point and update her life and what Jesus is doing in it. You're going to be fascinated by this. This is a great show today. By the way, the phone lines are open. If you have a question for our guest, Jenna Bergeson, you can talk to her at 244-0077. If you've got anything you'd like to ask her, you can do that. Also, the Cat in the Hat, Bob Montserrat, watching the chat today at Webcast1, WEBCASTONE live.com. There is a chat there that you can jump on, and at the same time, rather than calling, you could chat to Bob any questions that you have, and we'll go from there. All right, I want to introduce you to a young lady. Her name is Jenna, Jenna Bergeson, but if you want to find her on Facebook, it's just Jenna B. It's kind of got a little attitude. Why didn't you put your last name on there? Are you ashamed of your heritage?
I am not. No, it's a nickname that was given to me by someone very dear in my life.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, Jenna B. Can I just call you Jenna B?
You certainly can.
Is that all right? All right. So, Jenna Bergeson, which we'll just call Jenna B, is here. And I know her father, Jim, from a couple Bible studies at Hope, and his very quiet and shy, beautiful wife, Linda, is here. But unless I coaxed her in front of the camera or in front of the microphone, you may or probably will not hear her. However, Jim has agreed to answer any questions that you or I may have. All right, so why are you here? Why in heaven's name did I invite you on this incredibly humble... Nobody listens to this show, but you decide you want to come in and be a part of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm here because you asked me.
Oh,
so
nuts.
I
That
could turn
blew
the
my
question,
whole thing, didn't
I
it?
could turn the question right back to you. Why did you invite me here?
I invited you because I think your life is fascinating. I think your commitment to the gospel it's pretty hard to find, wouldn't? Or maybe you know a lot of people your age. My guess is you're 22.
27, thank you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I would have said 22. All right. Seriously, in your 20s, it doesn't really matter. It matters when you're my age and somebody thinks you're like 45 and I'm really 56. And that makes a big deal, doesn't it? Because that's 10 years. But 22 to 27, no. All right, so, but you've committed your life to Christ in the same way that Paul did or Matthew did. I mean, you are uprooting your life for the service of preaching the gospel.
I'm certainly trying.
Yeah, well, but you are, though. I mean, whether you'll be successful or not, it'll be up to you and God. But that's what you're doing. Now, tell me, first of all, you're from where?
Well, I've been living in Minneapolis, Minnesota for the past 5 years.
You even got a little minute. Do you hear that little Minnesota?
Do I have the O still?
You still got a little bit of the Norwegian.
Oh, yeah, you betcha.
Oh, yeah. So you've been living in Minneapolis for how long?
About 5 years. I moved there. I graduated from Luther College in beautiful Decorah, Iowa in 2010, and then moved up there afterwards, and I started working at a church as a youth director. And then, God called me into a year of service doing missionary work in Malaysia, 2013 to 2014.
Malaysia as in the country?
Yes, the country indeed.
Where they sleep in nets so you don't get diseases?
Not all of them, sometimes, but
okay. Is
there
that
are
just a
cities
stereotype?
there too. I would say yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Now, prior to that, you're born and raised in Des Moines?
Yes.
All right. Graduated from?
Valley High School.
What kind of Valley girl were you?
I was a good student, and I was an athlete, and I was a musician. So I was kind of in a lot of different circles.
What was your athletics?
I am a runner, and still am today.
Really? So
yes.
you get up and jog?
I do.
Or run?
I do it with my parents, too. They're big runners as well.
Now, help me. Now, you can tell And for those of you listening on the radio, this doesn't make sense, but if you watch the webcast, you can tell I don't run. I think Bob does more exercise than I do on the farm.
Oh, absolutely.
I do know at my big exercise, I have 22 steps to get from the kitchen to my chair. And so that's my form of exercise. So there's a difference between jogging and running, though, right?
Yeah.
And you say you're a runner.
I am a runner,
All right.
yes.
So do you run marathons?
I have done marathons, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
You ever done what do they call those, a triathlon?
I've done a sprint triathlon, which is a shorter one.
Okay, well, that's where you bike, swim, and run.
You do.
So show me an old runner. You guys die at the same time we do. Does it make you healthier?
Makes me feel good.
Makes you feel good.
Yeah,
so it's just a feel-good thing.
Makes me feel alive.
Okay,
yeah.
it's just a feel-good thing. So it's like
Yeah.
bubble gum.
I suppose so.
When I chew bubble gum and I blow a big old blue bubble and then it pops all over my face and I have to pick it out of my hair, that's fun.
For each his own.
Yeah, right. You're mocking me. All right, so as a Valley girl, you were a runner. You said you were a musician. What were you? What did you play?
I played the French horn,
Oh my God.
the most beautiful instrument there is.
Yes, I agree. I agree. The hand in the deal.
In the bell,
Yeah.
yep.
And you can change the hand,
Exactly.
which makes the sound different.
Right on.
See, people don't know that.
No, it's
They-
a very complex instrument.
Yeah, they think you're just lazy and it's like you have a pocket and you're just sticking your hand in the bell.
Like
But
a sweatshirt.
that's part of the. It's like a guitar player and that little wangy bar that he's got on the guitar, right?
Yep,
It can
yep.
change the sound. Okay. When did you start playing French horn and why?
Ooh, I was in, Mom, help me out here. 5th grade, 4th grade, 5th grade.
4th grade at Crestview.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
what made you French horn?
Well, to be honest, I wanted to play the saxophone.
Okay.
And there were a lot of saxophonists. And the music teacher at that point asked me, would you be interested in trying the French horn? And I've always been open to trying new things. So I said, sure.
So you were a French horn player.
I was a French horn player.
Now, I don't want to embarrass you, but my guess is you were first chair.
I was.
See, I didn't do any research. I got her pegged, don't I? She runs competitively. She was first chair, right? Competitive? Did she get that from dad or mom?
Mom.
Mom's pointing at dad, and dad is pointing. All right. When did you realize who Jesus was?
You know, I had some very significant experiences at camp growing up.
Okay.
So
is this
I would
Okoboji
say-
or Luther Camp or
Riverside, and then I
Okay.
went to a camp called Wilderness Canoe Base, which is in the boundary waters of northern Minnesota.
okay?
Yeah, and those are both incredible experiences for me.
And were they faith-based camps?
Yes, both of them.
And can you share with me some of those experiences?
Yeah, well, at Riverside, one of the most eye-opening experiences that I had there was the introduction to Christian music. I honestly did not know that Christian music existed until I went to Riverside, and they were just playing it at the pool,
How old
playing
are-
it over the loudspeakers.
How old are you at this point?
I was probably in 3rd or 4th grade.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So at church, wherever you went, there were hymns, but not Christian music?
Right, not playing on the radio as far as I knew.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you were raised traditionally Lutheran?
I was, yes.
All right. So you knew all the Jesus, stand up for Jesus and all that stuff.
All the traditional, the liturgy and
Right.
going to church, going to confirmation. I knew all
Right.
that.
But you didn't know contemporary Christian music.
I didn't. I guess that was the first time I saw Jesus outside of the church, outside of the
Okay.
pews.
And what did that feel like to you?
Well, I mean, it broadened my horizon of understanding that my faith is not just something that I live out in the church building.
It's something that you live out other places.
Absolutely.
Jenna B., her name is Jenna Bergeson, 2006 Valley graduate?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I did that on my... You guys think I did research, but I didn't. I'm just that lucky. Graduated from Valley High School, 206, went to Luther College. What did you study?
Communication studies and religion.
That's kind of like professional preacher,
Little bit.
kind of.
Yeah. I did a lot more, I'd say I did a little more interpersonal communication, so things related to counseling and small group communication.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Did you ever want to be a counselor? As in like a PhD or something like that?
I don't think so, no.
You just wanted to... When did you know what you wanted to do?
Well, once again, it goes back to camp.
Okay.
When I was up in the Boundary Waters, I was actually working there. And that was really when I had a turn in what I felt I was being called to do in my vocation. And when I was up there, I just had such incredible experiences with young people and in building relationships. And that was when I realized that studying communication and studying relationships and how it is that we work and speak and how it is that we relate to one another is a huge way in spreading the gospel.
Now, when you say young people, younger than you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at this point, you're in junior high or high school?
Yeah. No, when I was working there. So this is when I was in college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, would you call that your born-again experience, or did that happen previously?
I would say it was. I mean, that was when I really felt like I wanted to commit my calling and my vocation to the Lord.
So before that, your parents basically just sent you as a poor slave away for every summer so they didn't have to deal with you, and it just happened to be convenient that it was a faith-based camp.
You know what? That's not the truth. I actually had to fight to be able to work there because I was not making money working at this camp, but I knew that that was where I was supposed to be.
Jim Bergeson, you slave driver. You just couldn't give her a nice allowance every week and let her do the camp. Well, you did. In a way, you did.
She was making such good money at Hy-Vee and customer service that, yeah, it was.
You thought she was going to be one of the smiles in every aisle for the rest of her life. Now, let me ask you this, Jim. When did you see that commitment to serving Jesus in your daughter? Did you see it after she came home from Riverside, or did you kind of know it earlier than that?
I would say it was as she was going to Luther College. So
Okay.
those years at Luther and then those summers that she spent up at Wilderness Canoe Base, again, a Christian-based experience for young people.
Why, Jenna, why Luther? I mean, why not Iowa State? Why not Iowa? Why not Simpson? Simpson's got a great communications program.
Yeah, well, I mean, I actually first went to the campus when I was with my brother, and he was looking at schools. Now, my brother is one of those people that has what a lot of people might call a baby face. So when we were on this visit, a lot of the recruiters were actually coming to me and saying, "Oh, are you here to look at the college?" And I wasn't. How old was I then?
Probably, 15?
So this is your older
So I wasn't
brother.
old enough. Yeah, this is my older brother.
Okay.
And, when it came down to it, a lot of it was just the feeling. It felt like a really intimate place where I knew that I would learn and grow in a community. Once again, there's that communication, building relationships.
But you weren't thinking about this in terms of a faith journey.
That too.
Okay.
The fact that it's a Lutheran college was very appealing to me.
You really like Lutherans, don't you?
I do. I do.
Did you ever study Martin Luther?
I have a little bit, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
He was fascinating.
He sure was.
Did you find that in the end he kind of went a little nuts?
Well, he was a little nuts all throughout.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
he was
guess
a radical dude.
I guess you have to be to kind of pound some rules on the door of the Catholic Church when you're a priest.
I would say so.
He's a rebel with a cause.
There you go.
All right. I've been introducing you to the young Jenna Bergeson, Jenna B as we call her. You can also friend her on Facebook at Jenna B. That's J as in jelly, E as in elephant, N, Nancy, and A as in apple, and then simply B. B as in beautiful. And she is a 2006 graduate of Valley High School. Her mom and dad are here. Jim, you'll hear his voice every once in a while. You'll hear Linda's when she's the one that has the answer. The wisdom comes out. But she's distant because she's about 6 foot away from the microphone. Because, I don't know if you know this, there are some people who are deathly allergic to microphones. And Linda happens to be. If you get close, if people who are allergic to microphones get close, they go, and that's Linda. But we may get her on the radio before we're done.
You can't hear that, but we can hear those noises.
We can hear those.
Yep.
When we come back, Luther College, something changed. Riverside Lutheran Camp, as a camp counselor, something changed. Was it the Hound of Heaven finally catching up, or was this in her the whole time? And then a year in Malaysia, right? A year in Malaysia with mosquitoes. All right, we'll talk about that and where she's going next. That's live here on The View from a Pew, powered by webcast1live.com on 99.3.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can give these grandkids back, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We can help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, I'm J. Michael McCoy, and about 20 years ago, I went to a used car salesman by the name of John Hewitt. He had a little shop over there on North 2nd Avenue called John's Auto Sales, and I bought a car. I found that experience to be one that I had never had before from a used car salesman. He was honest, he was dependable, he had integrity, and he did what he said he was going to do. Well, over the years, between my kids and grandkids, I've purchased 7 vehicles from John's Auto Sales. And last month, I asked him to be a sponsor. I can tell you about their huge selection. I can tell you about their years of experience. I can tell you about their honest integrity. But all I really need to tell you is that I bought 7 cars, and you can trust them. John's Auto Sales, 5435 2nd Avenue, Des Moines.
You need a good ride when you hit the trail. Trust the man with the cars, and he goes by the name of Big John. Big John. Big John.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
If you sit in the back pew or the front pew, it's your voice we want to hear. The phone lines are open, so call 244-0077. Now, here's J. Michael McCoy.
Good afternoon and welcome back. 21 minutes after the hour on this 29th day of July. The only reason I'm dating this, there's nothing pertinent going on as far as timely, except as we'll learn later on, Jenna's about to take a pretty big step in life. And I want to date this because I hope when she comes back for a visit or comes back for good, she'll come back on and she'll update this. And this is kind of like her video story, her video diary when it comes to what's going on. All right, her name is Jenna Bergeson, and she just likes to be called Jenna B. Who was the one that gave you that nickname? You said someone dear to you.
Yeah, my youth director growing up, Angie Larson.
Okay, and she just called you Jenna B.
Yeah, no reason. There were no other Jennas, just had a ring to it.
Just thought kind of sparky.
And it stuck.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Mom and Dad are here. You won't hear much from Linda. Jim will step in from time to time. Jenna is a 2006 Harvard Valley graduate. And then I would say, what, a 2010 graduate of Luther College? You made it in 4 years?
3.5.
Seriously, she's that smart. How is your brother smart like that too? Your older brother?
Definitely not.
Ooh.
No, I have 2 older brothers. And
2 older?
Yeah.
So that's why you're so tough.
I have to be. That's right.
With 2 older brothers.
Absolutely.
What do your 2 older brothers do?
Travis and Derek. Travis works with cars here in Des Moines, and Derek is in the Navy out in San Diego right now.
Wow, thank you for serving.
Yes.
Mom, I know that's tough. That's not easy. Is this harder? Seriously?
My daughter.
Okay, all right, that's interesting. I may ask you to get in front of the mic on that, or maybe Jim, because I think Yeah. I have some really good, no, she doesn't need to come over. I have some really, really, really good friends of mine, mom and dad, okay? And they lost their son in the first Iraq War. And that was the first time I'd ever known anybody that died in war. And I saw what it did to Maggie. I mean, to this day, you know, we're now 11 years later, 11 years this month, August, well, this coming month. And it still rips her up. And so I always have this heart for a mom, not that I don't for a dad too, but for a mom whose son or daughter is off to war. A, they're away from home, and B, they're put in harm's way, or if they're not in harm's way in a war, they're in harm's way because they wear a uniform, especially nowadays. It's even harder nowadays. But we'll talk about that later. Okay, so you get out of Luther College, and you have a communications and a religion degree. Is that right?
Yes.
What did you think you were going to do with it? What did you, all through Luther, what did you imagine that you'd be when you grew up?
Well, once again, because of that experience I had at camp, I knew that I wanted to serve in the church in some capacity. So when I graduated from Luther, I knew that I wanted to kind of get my feet wet a little bit first. I was thinking that seminary might be something down the road, but I wasn't sure. And so I decided, you know, once again, Angie, my youth director growing up, was a huge example, a great mentor for me. And I thought, if I could do something like that, then I would feel like I had done something really good in my life.
A youth director at a church.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll get to that, obviously, but why not seminary? It just seems like the type of person you are that would be a natural track.
Well, I mean, I guess I just wanted to take a break from the academics.
Okay.
And I wanted to get in working with people. Once again, it comes down to the relationship building.
So seminary is still on the table at some point?
I'm currently in seminary, so it did come into the picture later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are you in seminary?
I'm a student. I'm a student at Luther Seminary up in St. Paul.
Okay. But you're taking some time away. Obviously, were you doing that when you were in Malaysia?
I was not, no.
Okay.
I did take a year off when I was there.
Okay. All right. So you're a youth director at a church in Minneapolis.
Yes.
And you're loving this.
Yeah.
Love the relationship.
Yep.
Love the kids. Love
Yep.
bringing people to the gospel.
All of it.
Hearing the stories, being a part of it.
Yep.
Okay. Minneapolis is over here.
Yes.
For those of you listening and not looking, I'm at my right, far away. And Malaysia is like in Waukee.
Even further. Keep going.
How? How did Malaysia ever come into your life?
Well, you know, it's funny because it all came about. I had a conversation with someone I was sitting next to at a wedding, and she had done this program called Young Adults in Global Mission. And that is a program with the ELCA, which is the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America.
Young Adults in
Global Mission.
Global Mission. Okay.
Yeah. And she had done this experience where she had taken a year to go and serve in another part of the world. And it was that single conversation that really...
Had you ever gone on a mission?
Yeah. I'd done short-term mission trips growing up with my church.
Three, 4, 5 days.
Yep.
Africa.
I've been to Mexico.
Okay.
And went to Canada.
That's not
and
a
then
mission.
lot of...
That's called spring break.
I beg to differ.
Okay.
I beg to differ.
So what'd you say? You said Missouri or Mexico?
Yeah.
And
Canada.
Okay.
And then a few...
Canada! Go ahead.
There's people everywhere. I mean, you can serve in your backyard. It's not all about
Canadians
going far.
aren't any different than we are, hey? Are they different?
They're very pleasant people.
Are they? Okay.
They are, yes.
And where else? You said the third one.
Domestic trips.
Domestic trips, okay.
Yeah. So I did, Washington, D.C. I did one in Logan, West Virginia. Milwaukee. Yeah. So a handful.
That was a beer run. Milwaukee was a beer run.
I was leading that trip, so I could not know.
Yeah,
that was not.
Okay. So you're at a wedding, and some young lady tells you about her experience with the Young Adults in Global Mission. Had she gone to Malaysia?
She had, yes.
Is this program only for Malaysia?
No.
Okay.
When I went, there were people in 9 different countries, and there were 62 people that they sent to these 9 countries.
All right. And what did you do when you were there?
When I was in Malaysia, I was serving as a teacher, kind of a teaching assistant for people that had different abilities with Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, autism. And I was really just helping and serving as an aide and serving as a teacher, serving as a mentor for them.
Now, I don't want to say the word. You just said they had certain what?
Disabilities or different abilities was what I said.
Yeah, that's what I said. You did, or that's what I thought. You didn't say disabilities.
I did not.
You said
different
abilities.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
When I interviewed Mike and Dawn Schindler. No, not Schindler. Schneider. You know who they are from our church.
Yes.
And their son, Corey. All right. The first question I asked Dawn was, I don't want to be rude and I don't want to be disrespectful. What do you call what he has? And I said, do you call it special needs? And she said back to me, Mac, we all have special needs. And I've never forgotten that. I've never forgotten that. Because Corey is awesome. You know, anybody who goes to Lutheran Church Hope knows Corey, because Corey's always walking around telling people hi and everything like that. But so you said special abilities.
Different
ability.
Yes.
What do they have as an ability that, for instance, you don't have, or I don't have, or your mother doesn't have?
Well, I can tell you their ability to love certainly seemed greater than my ability. I mean, to love just unconditionally and to love without question. It was an experience where I really saw God through some of these beautiful children.
Do they know who Jesus is?
Some of them do.
Okay.
And yeah, one of the beautiful things about Malaysia is it's a place where a lot of different religions come together, and that causes some conflict.
Sure, persecution.
But at the same time, religion is so embedded in life there that we prayed before every single meal, every single snack. It didn't matter if you were Christian, Muslim, Jewish, everyone prayed. You prayed to your God.
Prayed to, and for the most part, not a lot of conflict, or is the conflict on the political government level, or?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. Were you just serving Christians?
I was serving in a state called Sabah, so a state just like Minnesota or Iowa.
Okay.
And it's
Minnesota's not really a state. Go ahead.
We won't get into that.
All right.
But the state where I was serving,
Go Bears.
it's predominantly Christian.
Okay.
So the country as a whole has a lot of Muslim population, a high Muslim population. But the state where I was a lot of Christians.
Now, when you went to a worship service, a Sunday service or
Sure.
a daily service?
Sunday service.
All right. Is that like a traditional service at Hope? Is that like a celebration service? What are those like?
Yeah. I was actually a part of a Lutheran church in Malaysia.
Okay. 'Cause
Yeah.
you were with the ELCA.
Yes. It wasn't necessarily through that connection, though, that I went to this church. I mean, I became acquainted with this church and felt really good about the community there. So that's how I got
did you choose
involved.
them?
Yeah. I mean, I think there was a little bit of both. I think God,
They
God led me there. But
okay, but they don't just say, here's where you're going,
No.
pack your bags.
Right. Yep.
They give you, where do you want to go? I mean, could you have gone to Holland?
Well,
You could have gone to 8 other countries. You said 9 countries altogether.
Yeah. So there's a kind of a mutual interview process that takes place where you can share the countries that you're most interested in, and then they will come back and offer you particular countries. And then it kind of goes back and forth there where you can say, I really feel very called. And in my case, I really felt called to Malaysia.
Do you think that was a seed planted by that young lady at the wedding?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Had she gone to Mexico or someplace else, the seed might have been for a different country.
It could have been. That's very true. I hadn't thought about that.
Have you stayed in touch with that woman?
Yes.
So she knows what she did to you.
Yeah, she does. She's actually a friend from Luther College.
Okay, she takes responsibility for what she's done to you. Taking you
she ought
away
to.
from your beloved mama and daddy for a year into a country where mosquitoes are the size of F-10 fighters.
We have had that conversation, yes.
And what do they say?
What do who say? What
Your
is,
mom and dad.
Well,
I mean, don't they ever shed tears
They
for you?
do.
And please don't go. We
They
miss
do.
you. You're my only little girl. Those 2 bratty brothers of yours don't fulfill me. That means nothing to you.
yeah.
You just break their little hearts.
When it comes down to it, I know, and my parents tell me often, if not daily, that they are proud of me and that they are supportive of me in whatever I do and whatever I feel called to.
Well, who
and I'm
wouldn't
very
be proud
grateful
of
for
you?
that.
Who wouldn't be proud of you? Anybody in this room, raise your hand if you wouldn't be proud of her. Frank, what are you doing with your hand up? His hand wasn't up. I was kidding him. All right. So in Malaysia,
Yeah.
Working with special ability people.
Different abilities.
Different ability people.
Yeah.
And are you teaching them about Jesus? Are you teaching them English? Are you teaching them math? What's the focus with these kids?
So the school is called Sirimingasi Center. And it's
I could say that.
And it's an NGO. So it's actually not a Christian-based organization. They don't receive government aid.
Okay.
They receive a lot of funding through, individual sponsorships. And so they don't teach religion directly. But because a lot of the teachers practice Christianity themselves, and myself included, I think sometimes those things would slip into conversations.
Okay. And you're not, the anti-Christian Nazis aren't going to come running in. I mean, you don't have a fear of that there? Because in China, if you did that, you'd be underground.
Sure.
But you're not underground in Malaysia.
Well, in fact, we weren't underground explicitly, but we could not be open about the fact that we were a Christian organization.
Okay.
Because in Malaysia, you are not allowed to convert people to Christianity.
Really?
Yes. So as missionaries, that is a term that many people relate to conversion, which is not really what we were doing. I mean, we were there to preach the gospel in our everyday lives, but not necessarily to directly want to convert people.
All right, I'm going to write that down because I've got a comment, but I have to take a break. So I will come back to that when we come back.
All right.
And then we're going to spend some time on where she's going next. Give me a hint where you're going.
It's near Malaysia.
I don't even know where Malaysia is. Find Malaysia on the globe, Mom. Let me help that. All right, we're coming back. Jenna B., my guest today on The View from a Pew, live on The Truth, 99.3.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Hobbs.
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed, fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
If you sit in the back pew or the front pew, it's your voice we want to hear. The phone lines are open, so call 244-0077. Now, here's J. Michael McCoy.
Thank you very much. 22 minutes before the top of the hour, at the top of the hour, Salem Radio Network News, and then the Steve Deace back in Afternoon Drive here on 99.3, The Power and the Truth. Steve, although, is on vacation, and so there are different, very talented talk show hosts from the USA Network filling in for him, and I hope you give him a chance. You know, these guys are probably local talk show hosts somewhere. And the big guy, a guy like Steve Deace, national syndication, goes on vacation with his wife, Amy, and their kids. And you don't just put a sign out, closed, be back in a week. You go out and you find some people to fill in. And to be asked to fill in on a national show is it's an honor. And it's also a stage that you can be on where a lot of people can hear you. And quite frankly, you hope that the network themselves go, oh my gosh, this guy's so much better than I ever thought he was. Because you do really shine when you're kind of auditioning rather than when you're just coming in. And no, I didn't get asked to fill in for him. I said very talented people. So I'm just happy doing my little show here on my little network. Truth 99.3. All right, Bob Montserrat is here. Anybody on the chat?
Yeah, Army Brad.
What's he saying?
He's saying, Mac, you just got to tone it down some. No, I'm kidding.
That's usually what he says.
No, he didn't say that.
All right, so the chat is open at webcast1live.com. You can go to that, and you can place a question for Jenna B. You can also go to my Facebook page and put a question in. You can call in at 515-244-0077. We'd love to hear from you. Jenna B. is a 2006 graduate of Valley High School, a French horn player, and a competitive runner. And also just sold out for Jesus. I mean, just like big time. Except she's got this, and I know if you're listening on the radio, this won't make sense, but she shaved part of her head. And when I first saw it, I thought, oh, maybe she's been sick or something. Maybe I shouldn't ask for it. But you call that fashion?
Yeah.
Really?
Sure.
Okay. I'm just old. Okay, I'm just old. So, because in my day, you know who shaved their heads?
Who?
Who, Jim? Who shaved their heads in our days?
Well, the radical baldies did.
The Moonies.
And the Army people.
Yeah, the Moonies. The Moonies that sit there with their tambourines and their long white sheets. No, not sheets. Robes at airports. And, and they try to convert you to Mooneyism. But that's not a religious thing. That's just a fashion thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
My daughter does that, too. I just want you to know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't have any problem with it. I'm just being old. I mean, Dad, did it take you a while to get used to it?
Oh, just a couple of minutes.
Oh, fine. Everybody make me the bigot. They go ahead.
Thanks, Dad.
All right. Convert. You're in Malaysia for a year, and it's against the law to convert someone to any religion or just to Christianity.
Well, particularly anyone from being a Muslim.
Okay, so
yes.
You can't convert somebody from being an Islam.
Correct.
Muslim.
Yeah.
But can you convert a Christian to a Muslim?
Yes.
That's legal.
That's legal.
But to convert to... Okay,
yes.
I won't ask. Now, here's the thing I thought of before we went to break. People, I mean, I don't care how super powerful you are, you don't convert anybody to Jesus.
No, I do not.
Doesn't that make the government just sound stupid and ignorant? That they would blame you for a young lady or young boy that you work with, that they find Jesus and you happen to be the first person there to notice it? Or you're the Bible study leader, or you're the whatever it is? Isn't that just...
I could see that, yeah.
I mean, are there other signs that the government is that ignorant? I mean, I don't want to get you in trouble in Malaysia, but that just blows me away that Jenna B. would be held responsible for somebody coming to Jesus.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the reasons why the program that I went through, this Young Adults in Global Mission, it's not about converting. It's not even about evangelizing in the sense that we are trying to, get more followers, but it's about planting seeds. And the model that we use for this program is called accompaniment. So it's
accompaniment,
about accompaniment.
Like in music.
Yes.
Okay.
Like a piano, accompanying the French horn.
Yeah.
And it's all about just walking alongside people and just becoming a part of their story and hearing out their story.
So it's kind of undercover Jesus work.
In a sense, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like that's what we are called to do in our everyday lives. It's
Yeah,
not
Matthew
just
28.
It's not just being a missionary. It's
Right.
not just going to the
Right.
other side of the world. We're all
Yep.
called to do it.
That's what I do here every day.
Amen.
That's
So true.
You know, I said on the radio one time several years ago, I said, yeah, I'm just really not called to go on a mission. Because I wouldn't be comfortable in Malaysia. I wouldn't be comfortable. And this nice lady, it was probably Jesus, who just showed up for a minute to point something out to me, because this nice lady called and said, Mac, you're on a mission. You're on a mission right now. This is your mission.
Yes.
And I thought, hey, cool. I went to Mark at Hope and said, hey, I'm on a mission. And then he wanted to sign me up to go
Mac.
to Malaysia. What?
Did you ever consider that somebody in Malaysia may be listening to you, since this is a worldwide broadcast?
No.
I'm just saying.
I didn't. Okay, well, I don't want to get Jenna B in trouble. All the opinions on this show are strictly J. Michael McCoy's, not that of Jenna B, the network, the radio station, her mom or dad. Well, they are of Frank, though. Frank is responsible for everything I say. All right, so you are in Malaysia for 1 year. You came home when?
I came home in July.
All right.
No, yeah, I came home in July.
This month?
No, of
Year ago.
2014.
And then you went back to school?
Yes,
Okay. And now you decided to go somewhere else.
I did.
All right,
Yes.
Is this with this same Young Adults in Global Mission?
It's not, but it's with the ELCA Global Mission kind of overarching umbrella.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And let me guess. This time you're picking something really cool like Hawaii or maybe Australia or France. I think France would be beautiful this time of year. Right?
That's true.
I mean, you're going to a democratic, Jesus-loving country, right?
Well, depends on who you ask, I suppose.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Hong Kong.
Okay, that's it's communist. You realize that?
Well, it's got some political turmoil there.
You're so politically. The church is underground there.
More so in China than Hong Kong.
Oh,
Yes.
Is it Hong Kong and China?
It is a part of China,
Is
yes.
it China the country and Hong Kong the city?
Yes. And to be perfectly honest with you, I need to do more research and I need to understand it more. But Hong Kong is a part of China, but they have their own government, they have their own currency, they have their own governing body. So in a sense, they almost function like their own country.
Well, they were just freed from Britain, right? Like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what are you going to do there?
I will be teaching English at a seminary called Lutheran Theological Seminary of Hong Kong. And then I'm also taking classes there and continuing my studies.
Don't you have to know how to speak Chinese?
I do not. From what I understand, people primarily and almost exclusively speak English there. So you can get by with just English.
So you're going to be an English teacher at a seminary in Hong Kong.
Yes,
And you think God called you to do this?
I do. Yes.
Why?
Well, for one thing, when I looked into this program, Young Adults in Global Mission, one of the reasons that I felt even more enticed into this program is I went on their website and I looked at some of the potential placements, and one of them was teaching English at a seminary in Malaysia. And it turned out God had not called me to that vocation yet. But when I got back from Malaysia last summer, I just had this itch. And I just knew that what I was in and what I was being called to was not where I was. And so I ended up looking on the job positions on the ELCA Global Mission website. And I found this position, teaching English at a seminary, which is what I thought I had been called to just a few years earlier, just a few hundred miles south. But here it was in Hong Kong. And that was when I knew, okay, this is when God is calling me to do this.
So if the itch goes away and it feels like what?
I mean, I feel whole in a sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm always interested, and we're going to take a break, but I'm always interested when people talk about being called. Because I know what I feel when I'm being called, and it's one of those things where I explain to people, I can't explain it to you.
Yeah.
I really don't have the words, but I like when you said itch, because I also know when I don't think I'm in the right track.
Yeah.
When my will has chosen over his. All right, we're coming back. Last segment coming up with Jenna B right here on The Truth, 99.3, powered by webcast1live.com.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, I'm J. Michael McCoy, and about 20 years ago, I went to a used car salesman by the name of John Hewitt. He had a little shop over there on North 2nd Avenue called John's Auto Sales, and I bought a car. I found that experience to be one that I had never had before from a used car salesman. He was honest, he was dependable, he had integrity, and he did what he said he was going to do. Well, over the years, between my kids and grandkids, I purchased 7 vehicles from John's Auto Sales. And last month, I asked him to be a sponsor. I can tell you about their huge selection. I can tell you about their years of experience. I can tell you about their honest integrity. But all I really need to tell you is that I bought 7 cars, and you can trust them. John's Auto Sales, 5435 2nd Avenue, Des Moines.
You need a good ride when you hit the trail. Trust the man with the cars, and he goes by the name of Big John. Big John. Big John.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
If you sit in the back pew or the front pew, it's your voice we want to hear. The phone lines are open, so call 244-0077. Now, here's J. Michael McCoy.
10 minutes before the top of the hour, Salem Radio Network News at 3 o'clock. And then at 3:03, it's the Steve Day Show. Steve is on vacay this week, so we'll have a guest from the USA Network filling in. And if it's anything like the last 2 days, it's been great. All right, for the last few minutes of this hour, Jenna B. is my guest, 2006 graduate of Valley High School. Mom are Linda and Jim, and she was a part of the Young Adults in Global Mission, where she went to Malaysia and helped different needs people. Did I say that right?
Differently abled.
Differently abled. I'll never get it right. And now, when are you going to Hong Kong?
A week from Saturday. Don't look at my mom, but yeah.
She's going to Hong Kong. And how long will you be gone?
I'll be there for 2 years.
Can you come home for a visit?
I can. I would have to pay my own way and take vacation, but
so you probably won't. I mean,
we'll see what happens.
Forget mom and dad. Who cares?
I hope they come and visit me.
They bore you. They
It's
raised you.
Hong Kong.
They gave up everything they had so you'd have this wonderful life. But I don't need to. I don't need to come home and see. Christmas isn't a big deal. Let mom sit around under the mistletoe and cry because I'm not there. Is that how you feel?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think so. Are you guys planning on going to visit at some point?
We are.
Yeah,
Yep.
good. All right. What about a normal life of a man and a white picket fence and having a corporate job and having a retirement and having babies, grandchildren? Why do you think God has led you down this path and not that?
Well, some of it is in the mystery. I mean, a lot of it, like you were talking about before, is just that feeling that you have when your calling is being fulfilled. It's hard to explain. But for me, I feel whole in moving in this direction, and I feel like I am living out my purpose and using the gifts that God has given me to the best of my ability. And it just happens to be in another corner of the world.
So if you're in Hong Kong and you meet a man and that feeling comes up, you're open to that?
Well, I will tell you, my mom said she doesn't want grandbabies in Asia.
Okay.
But
all right.
We'll see what happens.
She wants them in Ankeny, right?
Yeah, something like that.
If you're going to be out of town, just Ankeny's as far as you can go.
Sure.
All
but
right.
yeah, I'm open to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Dad, what's your biggest fear?
Jenna's safety,
Okay.
being so far away, that's at the top of mind.
But she's probably safer in Hong Kong than she is in Ferguson, Missouri.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. She'll be on a very secure campus with a lot of great people.
And with today's technology, you know, FaceTime, Skype, I mean, you guys can talk. What's the time difference?
It is 12 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 13 right now, I think, because we're on daylight savings
time.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have that ability to communicate with her that way. And are you a letter writer?
I am.
Are you a journaler?
I do video journaling, actually. I'll take my phone and I'll just kind of talk at myself, basically.
Yeah.
It's really fun to look back on.
Yeah.
Because then you see your surroundings and everything.
Isn't there a site that you can do that?
Probably.
Okay.
I'm not techie.
You want to say something? Well, then say something. By the way, he never asks questions. He just makes a statement, and then he says, what do you think about that?
I'd like to ask Jenna, religion is here in the United States on every street corner. All you got to do is roll out and find a church. Do you think the last vestiges of the souls that need potential the gospel in this world are in the foreign mission fields?
I wonder if you can repeat that, Mac.
Oh, yeah, you didn't hear that. Basically, He said, why don't you do this at home rather than over in Hong Kong?
Well, I mean, I think that the world is becoming smaller. And I think that we are in a dangerous place right now where we don't recognize the impact that we have on the world and the world has on us. And I just feel so passionately about serving as that bridge between the rest of the world and the people back here.
Where do you think that comes from? Is that a Holy Spirit thing?
It certainly is. And honestly, my dad's mom, my grandmother, had a real call to travel as well. And she was always fascinated with other cultures and always wanting to learn about other people.
Okay.
And I have that same urge.
What's your life verse?
My life verse?
Yeah, do you have one?
I do. Philippians 4:6, which I need to remind my mom about. And that is, do not worry about anything, but rather pray about everything.
Mom, do you worry? No. That's a lie.
That's a lie.
No, she said
Straight
no.
up lie.
Don't you trust that God's going to take care of her? You do. So you just know that's the accuser messing with your mind to make you worry. And yeah. Okay, good. What disciple are you most like?
Ooh, that's one I've never thought about. I don't know. Do you have an idea?
For you?
Yeah. You said Paul at the beginning of our talk.
Yeah, certainly like Paul. You think a lot like James. Because James was, the brother of Jesus, and he had insights into him that obviously through his writings that nobody else knew. He didn't write about a different Jesus, a 180 Jesus, but he wrote about characteristics that other disciples didn't write about. And I would say that your love and passion for your brother, Jesus, kind of shows through. So that's kind of what I would say, James.
Well,
I'm a James fan because I don't think a lot of people really, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but the Catholic Church wanted to remove James from the Bible. They didn't want it in the canons because James says in one place that works has something to do with it. And, Paul so strictly pounded, not works, just faith. But James said, no, you don't understand. If you don't have fruit from those are called works, and you have to do that. And I think Paul weaves around that in Galatians and stuff like that, but not as directly as that. All right, so if you could spend an hour with anybody living or dead, who would it be?
Ooh, that's another one I have a hard time with. I would probably say my grandma.
She's passed?
Yes.
Okay. And who is the biggest influence on your life? Let me ask you this. Who is your first hero? With girls, it happens about 5 or 6 years old, and it can't be your mom. It's got to be somebody outside your immediate family.
Yeah. I mean, once again, my youth director, Angie,
had
a huge impact on my life from a young age.
Where is she now?
She's here. She lives in Waukee.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And is she kind of a theological soulmate?
Yeah, she really stretches me in a lot of ways. She actually just graduated from Luther Seminary with her Master's of Arts.
And what's she going to do with it?
She's somebody that has a lot of gifts. So I think she could do a lot in this world. And I don't recall exactly the position that she's going into now, but she's starting in a new position in a church.
Here locally?
Yes.
Isn't our church?
No.
No, okay.
Yes.
All right, so, Mom, don't cry. When you're dead and gone, what's the impact that you had on this earth that God will share with the world when you arrive in his arms?
I certainly hope it is that I was a good listener. Again, coming to the piece of accompaniment and hearing other people's stories. I think a lot of times in our world, we need to shut up, and we need people to listen more.
And with that, we'll shut up for the day. Jenna B., thank you. It was a pleasure. You come back when
Mac.
you visit or when you come home, okay? I want to hear
will.
more. Mom and Dad, thanks for being here. And you at home, you know what I'm going to tell you. Today, on your knees, forgive somebody, because as you forgive, you shall be forgiven. I'll see you in church.